Stop fighting your real competitors and fight someone else's instead. This is the story of Chili's 31% sales surge proves that category crashing beats category fighting. In this video, I'm going to show how a 20 million activation generated 6 billion earned media impressions, the category crasher pattern, what it is, and when to run it, 3 industries where the same play produced the same results, and 5 questions that tell you whether the window is open in your category, plus the GPT to help you summarize everything yourself and to apply it in your business. Let's dive in. But first, a commercial. Let me show you this part right here. This is the predatory payday loan ad that all people hate. However, Chili's made it very entertaining. It's only 15 seconds.
Are you tired of overpaying for fast food? Those lotto millions still not enough to afford drive-thru?
Yes, I have.
Need a vacation from inflation because fast food is just for trillionaires?
It is.
When you can't get the Chili's for an affordable $10.99 3 for me, fast food financing is your solution. I know sometimes the Chili's 3 for me isn't always an option, so visit fast food financing to finance your so-called value meal today. Because fast food prices are sky high.
Fast food financing brought to you by Chili's, now open in Union Square.
It is only open, right? So let's talk about what they do here. So first off, the category crasher pattern is when a brand of perceived higher tier or even the lower tier, so you can crash down in this pattern or you can crash up, goes and attacks the other category at the exact moment the category's dominant player breaks at its core promise. So what did Chili's do there? Well, first off, they launched a 2-day pop-up. We're going to watch another video where a YouTuber goes in and he actually goes into this payday loan office that they developed. And it's designed as a predatory payday loan office positioned directly next to McDonald's. And it's serving a $10.99 meal, whereas McDonald's is serving a $15 meal. McDonald's is the lower tier. Chili's, the higher tier. Chili's, you can dine in, you can have a whole meal, you can have beer, you can have all sorts of drinks, and you can take your time. McDonald's, I'm just going through the fast food. I'm just going through the driver's line, and I just need to get out of there, right? And what happened during this inflationary period, this is still 2025, what happened was that value meal stopped being $10, stopped being $5. Now it was a $15 meal. And Chili's said, we're going to crash down to your level. And that's where they position McDonald's serving that 15 fast food combo. Hey, we're losing value here. And the result was 6 billion earned media impressions, 400% spike in social conversation, 31.6% same-store sales growth the following quarter. So just because they open it up for 2 days, look at these results. And this beats the conventional approach because Chili named the consumer wound publicly. They were accurate. They use humor, as you just saw, and they let the format do the argument. So over here in this video, you can actually see
there's no way that Chili's invited me out here to finance my next fast food meal.
So we know how fast food prices are crazy nowadays. Chili's decided to open a fast food financing store where they literally help you pay for your...
Okay, so you could see, I don't know if you can see this right here, but here's the fast food financing here. This is the 2-day pop-up that they put out there, and then here is McDonald's right next to them.
Fast food meal. I cannot believe that Chili's actually made a financing.
So here you can see fast food financing. It's got all that payday loan garbage branding, but it's working.
The price of fast food nowadays is outrageous. So now if you visit fast food financing in Manhattan, you can get Chili's to pay for your next fast food meal. All you have to do is make sure that you're approved.
I can't believe I can say this.
I've been approved. You have been approved. We've got approval. FYI, everyone gets approved. $10.99, you get the new Big QP burger with fries, chips, and a drink. You guys have to visit fast food financing and get Chili's to pay for your next fast food meal.
Exactly. So as you can see, they actually opened up this fast food pay. Let's see if I can scroll the screen real quick. There you go. So as you can see, they opened up this payday loan office right next to McDonald's. And then what they're doing is everybody wins. Everyone gets to be a part of this. And you get to buy a $10 meal instead of a $15 meal for the same value. And if they do this compare and contrast between the burgers, and Chili's looks deliciously scrumptious. I made that word up. So there's 2 forces that converge in 2025. that could still be working for 2026, especially with gas going up right now in March of 2026, to make this category crasher especially powerful. So, number one, the consumer trust has to be established in the category, and this has a shorter shelf life too. Post pandemic pricing decisions broke implicit contracts. A $5 value meal suddenly became a $12, $15 combo. That's not what we agreed to in this category of fast food. And decades old promises are just shattered, right? Consumers are primed by betrayal, are actively looking for brand that names that feeling, and that window closes fast once the incumbent or the dominant person in that category responds to value deals or the one below it. And number two, the earned media infrastructure scales faster than paid. So a well-designed physical activation in 2025, that's that payday loan right there, spot in Manhattan. It generates global reach. Influencer pickup, you saw the YouTuber talking about it, social impressions. The structural gap between big brand media spend and small brand reach has collapsed for any brand willing to give consumers something genuinely worth sharing. So the Category Crasher is built for this. It's a local event with national distribution baked in, and the window opens and then it just moves. So this pattern didn't just work for Chili's. It also worked in fitness. It also worked in beer. It also worked in personal care. So if you're in any of these other industries, you might want to think about picking up the GPT in the description below to see if this works for your business. But three real quick cases. Planet Fitness, when the recession hit, this is back in 2008, when all that housing market crashed. Traditional gyms were still charging $50, $80, but Planet Fitness said, hey, we're not just a gym. Pay $10 a month. We're a family. We're a place that you can come. Judgment-free zone. Serious gyms had become hostile to ordinary people. And the results were same club. Sales grew 18% in 2008, and then it continued to grow in 2009, 23%. By 2023, they had 2,400 locations. Newcastle Brown Ale. This was one of the best marketing ads I've ever seen. Go check it out on the newsletter. They basically made this whole pitch that this is not, if we had a Super Bowl budget, this is all the stuff we would have made. And so they just gave all these raw ad drawings in there, 1 billion media impressions, 18% increased purchase intent. So they were in the lower category. We can't afford the Super Bowl. And they were bumping up, crashing up into the category above them to those who can afford the Super Bowl, State Farm and Coors Light and all of them. Dollar Shave Club, personal care, 2012. Gillette had this distribution mode, cheap hardware with expensive cartridges locked in retail cases, and they were becoming the villain. So Michael Dublin over at Dollar Shave Club, he kicks that category going up, and he made a 90-second YouTube video. You can watch the video in the newsletter itself for $4,500, naming the complete absurdity. The website crashed, 12,000 orders in 48 hours. Unlever paid $1 billion 4 years later in paying them out. Wouldn't you like $1 billion? Same pattern, completely different marketing metrics there. How do you know if you should do this? Well, you can pick it up in the newsletter. There's 5 questions that we ask over there. The 5 questions are: 1, does somebody in your category or in the category below you have a wound that you can address? 2, you got to have good positioning runway. Does your brand have positioning that would meet that need? The Category Crasher lands loudest in the culmination of an established story. Cold entry reads are always optimistic. Number 3, is there operational proof? Are you able to pull this stunt off by comparison? I show 3 failure examples in the newsletter where this did not work out, and they were not able to follow up and fulfill on that product promise. So all 3 of these things have to be answered. Number 4, there's got to be some wit. There's got to be some empathy. In this case, the payday loan office was brilliant. Can you execute some genuine empathy with your audience? Will it be entertaining? And number 5, shareable mechanism. What's your shareable piece of doing this. You know, what's your product? What's your workflow for that? Chili's turned every frustrated fast food consumer into customer into content. What's your version of that user generated pain engine? And then just a red flag. Movie Pass, this was the example I was giving for number 3. They named a real consumer frustration that grew from 20,000 to 3 million subscribers in weeks. Then the product just couldn't deliver. They were charging like $10 for streaming or for movies that you can go out with compared to AMC and others that were charging, $20, $30 more, but it just backfired on them and ended up collapsing them. So if you're going to take on a category, if you're going to take on Goliath or you're going to take on the little runt, be sure to deliver on the promise. So how do you run this? Well, we said a little bit earlier, you need to identify the wound, number 1. Number 2, you need to design a shareable mechanism. And number 3, you need to move before the window closes. My take on this, I like to just reflect for a minute about this wonderful man and this beautiful monkey. This is Frans de Waal. He spent years studying capuchin monkeys. When one monkey, and I know this is a chimpanzee, totally different monkey in this picture, but it's from National Geographic. And they thought, well, let's have you eating a banana. That's a banana in there, sitting next to a monkey, and the monkey smiling at him. When one monkey received a smaller reward than another for completing the same task, the underpaid monkey went on strike. So I've seen this happen in healthcare for the last 15 years. Nurses going on strike because the other nurses are getting paid in a different hospital, a different system. They're being paid more. But when they stop performing, right, and they go on strike, these monkeys, they refuse to cooperate, and de Waal called it moral calculation. The monkey was responding to a broken social contract. The same thing happened with Chili's. Consumer frustration with fast food pricing runs through that same circuitry. The $15 combo carried the weight of broken promise. The deal that used to exist, cheap, fast, reliable, had made quietly and very quickly abandoned while the drive-thru kept running. The sense of betrayal lands first, it lands fast, and it lands in the body. This is an embodied experience for many consumers. And that's not consumer irrationality. We shouldn't judge the consumer for that. That's just like human evolutionary bodily knowledge. That's an ancient moral circuit responding to a broken contract. So you need to have empathy and wit around that. And Chili's did that. They named the breach. The format did the rest, right? And I think that the brands that are going to win in the next consumer loyalty cycle will have the courage to name what's actually happening to the customers accurately in public without flinching. And that $15 combo, they carry the weight of a broken promise, and they're amending that in the category below them. Hey, if you like this and you like to see more strategy intelligence that works, not only do we take 3 patterns or 1 pattern in 3 industries where it worked, but also where it failed, and a GPT that helps you to apply it to your business. Hope you're having a great day. And that's it for the Category Crasher. Catch you later.